How's that?
That looks terrific.
Fabulous, because I can see what I need to see as well.
Excellent.
So you think you can't be scammed? Think again. The perceived image of a typical scam victim is an elderly, less educated, lower income female. She's viewed with pity or scorn by people who think they would never be foolish enough to fall for a scam. But recent BBB research busts that stereotype into little pieces, providing surprising new insights into who is most likely to be scammed and how people underestimate their own vulnerability. So this new research is called Online Purchase Scams, and I was telling Bob it came out October 27th, so it's hot off the press. I'm very happy to be able to present it to you today. So as Bob said, my name is Nancy Cahalan. I'm President and CEO of Your Better Business Bureau. There are over 100 Better Business Bureaus serving North America, Canada, and the United States. And for more than 100 years, we've been helping people find businesses they can trust. Millions of people turn to BBB each year to view BBB business profiles, all available for free on bbb.org. BBB accredited businesses support the mission and vision of Better Business Bureau, and their dues and contributions allow BBB to offer its information and services to consumers at no charge. So today I'm here to share with you the findings from a new BBB research report focused on online purchase scams. Scammers use online technology to offer attractive deals, but once the payment is made, the product or service is not delivered. Online purchase scams were among the top 3 riskiest scams for the last 3 years. And so far in 2020, a staggering 80.5% of consumers that report online purchase scams also report losing money. And that's up from 24.3% last year. So our goal with this study was to better understand how these scams are being perpetrated, who is being targeted, the overall impact of the scams, and how we can help people avoid losing money to them. So here we go. All right. So at the Better Business Bureau, we believe in a fair and honest marketplace where businesses and consumers work together to trust in one another. Scams undermine and erode that trust and hurt not only consumers, but also hurt legitimate businesses who operated in an ethical and trustworthy manner. We offer a number of free resources, including BBB Scam Tracker and BBB Business Profiles, to help you avoid scams and find businesses you can trust. In 2015, it seems like a long time ago, but we're over 100 years old, so it wasn't that long ago in BBB years. Better Business Bureau created a free interactive crowdsourced tool called BBB Scam Tracker. This tool allows consumers to report scams they've encountered and allows BBB, as well as government and law enforcement officials, to track and expose scams and gain insight into scammers' techniques. We share this information through an interactive heat map that you can use to zoom in on your own local community. A 2020 study of BBB Scam Tracker users found that many people use this tool to see what scams are happening, and it even helped nearly 22% of them to avoid losing money to a scam. The data used for this report includes online purchase scams submitted between 2015 and 2020, and a new survey research conducted in 2020 with those who submitted online purchase scams. So first we're going to talk about exposure and susceptibility. Online purchase scams are a significant problem, and with the increased amount of people shopping online, the risk of this type of scam continues to rise. If we were to update the risk index today, online purchase scams would likely rank number 1, and this is not factoring in the potential increase from holiday sales. So as you can see from this graph, we see a continued increase in exposure and susceptibility to online purchase scams. And if you look at the reports of those that lost money in 2015, 13% of the reports were related to online purchases as compared to 60% in 2020. So there's been a huge increase, and we're going to talk more about that later. In 2020, over 80% of consumers reported online purchase scams also reported losing money. So with Scam Tracker, we ask people to report even if there's been an attempt to scam them, even if they haven't lost money, because that information is very helpful in protecting other consumers and preventing them from being scammed. So how do the scammers engage with their targets? Another factor measured as part of the risk index is median dollars lost. So here you can see how it has evolved over time for online purchase scams. Even though these scams have a lower median dollar loss, this varies significantly based on the type of products being purchased and should not be minimized. Also, based on change in consumption patterns in 2020, we saw an increase in median dollar loss in 2020 compared to previous years. So, next. All right. How are scammers engaging with their targets? So, from the exposed to scams research conducted with the BBB Institute, FINRA, and Stanford Center for Longevity, we conceptualize that scams are either a pull or push, depending upon who primarily initiates them. So let's see what a typical consumer journey on online purchase scams looks like. As you can see from this slide, even those who are passively looking or not looking, so those would be these, they're still at risk, but their journey is a bit different, and we'll talk about that next. So analysis of both data from BBB Scam Tracker reports as well as responses to our survey revealed that the marketing platforms on this slide were the top means of contact mentioned by respondents that lost money to the scams. Respondents allegedly saw the product advertised on these platforms. Here you can see how the journey is different based on consumers being actively searching or not. Those actively searching are most likely to see the product advertised on Google. Their reports would include phrases such as, "I found a website on the first page of Google search," or "there was an ad on Google," or "I was looking for a product on Google Shopping." Those passive or not searching are exposed primarily on Facebook. Their reports included phrases such as, "I saw their products advertised on Facebook," or "I saw a product posted on Facebook Marketplace." People likely put their guards down since these platforms are ones that they trust. The enticement of a great sale price was the top reason victims purchased a product and lost money. Overall, the study revealed that sales price was the primary motivation for consumers engaging in an impulsive manner, and demonstrates how important it is to be attentive to the too good to be true offers. Perceived availability of scarce products such as masks and wipes was the #2 motivating factor following COVID. I know I got burned on that one. Pictures on the website were the #1 motivator for purchases of pets. Ooh, they look so cute. Or clothing and accessories, and the #2 motivator for motor vehicles. Free trial offers were the primary motivation for skincare and medical or nutritional products. Health officials tell us that the pandemic is expected to continue for the foreseeable future, and the 2020 holiday shopping season is full of uncertainty. Online scams are likely to continue or even grow because more people are making online purchases during the holiday season, and scammers offer great prices on the most sought-after products. Here you have the riskiest product categories for the cumulative period analyzed. Quick highlights. Yes, pets were the riskiest and are ongoing on the top of the list. It seems that consumers are getting smarter, though, about these pet scams. BBB could be helping here with all of our coverage and warnings on the topic. There's lower susceptibility. The lower susceptibility could indicate that scammers will eventually start pivoting to other products where scams are not expected. seem to be seasonality effects, like when are more people likely to purchase pets, or what are people most likely to buy during the holidays, and some items have decreased demand, like motor vehicles right now, except for RVs. Some have increased with medical nutrition moving into second place. We think that's because of masks that might fit in that category. Due to these fluctuations, the overall suggestion for consumer education about the risk of online purchase scams is that methods and tactics of scammers should be stressed and not the product specifically. So it's good to remember that scammers have a deep understanding of consumer behavior, and probably even better than most marketing firms. So what were the top payment methods? Credit cards were the most common payment method used, followed by PayPal. And those that paid with credit cards or PayPal were less likely to report losing money. Those that paid with bank debit cards reported an increased occurrence of monetary losses, but those that paid with prepaid cards or Zelle were far more likely to report losing money. So with credit cards and PayPal, there are some fraud protections built right into those payment methods. And we recommend, whenever you're shopping online, I normally recommend credit cards. I see a lot more people using PayPal associated with a credit card. But clearly those two have less risk for losing money than these other methods do. And when you give out your bank account debit information, you're really giving the keys to your checking account out, and they can take more than what you've authorized them to take. Going back to the consumer journey, it started primarily on Google or Facebook, and it ended, in most cases, as a victim that did not receive the product they had tried to purchase. And they had a monetary loss that varied depending upon their type of purchase. But monetary loss is not everything a victim will lose. 15% reported receiving a different item than was described, and they could not get a refund. 1% had their credit card information stolen. 11% had other losses. They were either overcharged, or there were multiple non-authorized charges on their credit card. They weren't offered a refund. The free trial offer turned out not to be free, and there are other charges on their cards without authorization. About 6 out of 10 victims reported receiving tracking information, but 1 out of 2 reported that the tracking info was fake. So it's highly recommended that consumers check the tracking information that's provided to them. It can help consumers identify sooner rather than later that they've fallen for a scam and alert them that they need to take action. I know this happened to me. I ordered, we were reopening the office, and I needed some of those touch-free thermometers, and I found them online and ordered them, and they had given me tracking information, and I was patient up to a point. Then I did a search on the tracking information and found out that the product had never been delivered to the post office in order to be delivered to me. So they're reusing tracking numbers. We had a report of someone recently that had a tracking number that actually predated her purchase. So I don't know how they knew that they were sending her the information before she actually ordered it. But it's very easy to fake tracking numbers, so it's something you need to really be alert about. So victims also lose significant amounts of time and most likely peace of mind as well. 9 out of 10 victims reported trying to contact the seller multiple times. And this lost time should also be factored in when we count up what their losses were. So let's see, who fell prey to online purchase scams? Let's take a look at who is most at risk for online purchase scams, and then we'll share some prevention tips. Susceptibility for online purchase scams drops with age. Younger people are more susceptible to losing money with this scam type. So you'll say that by this graph, those with the highest exposure to the scam are between the ages of 25 and 44. And between 35 and 44 are most at risk for losing money. So those are two different things that we track, those that are exposed to the scam and those that actually lose money. Very much like other findings across all scam types, the amount of money lost to these types of scams increases with age. The median dollar loss for someone 65 or more is $119 compared to $68 for someone between the ages of 18 and 24. And it probably has a lot to do with what they're ordering. We also know from previous research that military consumers are more vulnerable to scams, and this type of scam is no different. Military spouses and veterans are more likely to lose money to this type of scam than non-military consumers. The median dollars lost for all military consumers, active duty spouses and veterans, is higher than non-military consumers. 68% of online purchase scams were reported by women compared to 32% by men. So significantly more are being submitted by women. Women are more likely to lose money, 81%, to online purchase scams than men, with only 74%, but men lose more money than women. Men lose on average $100, women $80. So again, that's probably a lot to do with what they're ordering. And I'm going to stick up for the women here. I think they do more shopping, so they have more opportunities to be targeted. We all know that COVID-19 had significant impacts on all of our lives this year, and that includes our exposure to fraud. As we suspected, people increased their online presence this year because many stores shut down, and many of us were being careful to reduce our exposure by shopping online more often. According to our survey research, consumers increased their frequency of online purchasing following the outbreak of COVID-19. The number of people shopping weekly increased from 29% pre-COVID to 37% since, and those who shopped almost daily increased 10% pre-COVID to 17% since. So almost double. 30% of survey respondents who were targeted after COVID-19 said they were purchasing online versus in person due to pandemic-related reasons. And those purchasing online due to COVID were more likely to lose money, 83%, compared to those who were not, 77%. We were able to glean some insights on protective factors and some of the things that help people avoid losing money to scams. According to the survey, 53% did not realize they were experiencing a scam until they did not receive the purchased item. 8% said they figured out it was a scam when they were charged more than they were told. 6% figured it out when the item they received did not match the product description, and 5% when they were unable to return the product for a refund. Only 2% said they knew immediately that they'd been scammed. 45% of survey respondents in 2020 said they avoided losing money because they had a gut instinct something was not right about the situation. Other key factors that help targets avoid losing money were checking the background of the scammer. There were 20% checked the background of the scammer. Intervention by organizations such as banks or credit card companies, 15%. I know banks will often flag unusual purchases. Knowledge about the tactics of scammers in general, 12% cited that, and that has a lot to do with our Better Business Bureau education programs. 11% said they researched online purchase scams, and 4% said they had past experience with scams. So, they learned the first time and didn't fall for it the second time around. Out of the 57% who did not research the website or business via an independent source before making a purchase, 81% lost money. So do your research. Those who are aware of online purchase scams prior to being targeted were less likely to lose money, 77%, than those who were not aware. So it wasn't a huge difference, but it was a difference nonetheless. And we learned that structural interventions work. 10% of victims said an organization, company, or agency tried to intervene, and 40% of them were able to avoid losing money, and that was mostly thanks to banks. As I said, a lot of them have information about your buying patterns, and if something seems off, they will alert you. When the victims were asked, how do you feel about purchasing a product online, 12% said, I may hesitate to purchase online, and 5% said, I will be more likely to purchase in a store. According to our survey, 35% of those who are exposed to an online purchase scam will only trust known retailers for future purchases, while 46% said they now better understand the red flags for identifying fraud and are more confident in detecting a future scam attempt. When asked which factors help them trust a website, the top 5 factors listed, including buying from a reputable business, testimonials and reviews, researching the business before buying, checking with the Better Business Bureau, reviewing the security and or professionalism of the website. So those were their top reasons that help them trust a website. When asked to choose the top 3 characteristics they consider before choosing a business or website for online shopping, survey respondents who did not lose money mentioned the presence of contact information on the website. They felt more comfortable if there was a physical location for the business, and a visible return policy or refund policy that they could read and know ahead of time, and if they had BBB accreditation seal on their website. So those were the things that made them feel better about online shopping. Those who did not lose money were 22% more likely than those who did to say that the BBB accredited business seal helped them decide who to trust online. So let's move on into some prevention tips. All right. So if the deal looks too good to be true, it's probably not true, and you should probably avoid it. So what did we say about the primary motivator? It was a really good deal. So, and also during COVID, scarcity played a big factor too. If no one else has wipes, then the ones you're seeing online are probably not for real either. So if it's too good a deal to be true, then avoid it. Professional photos don't mean it's a real offer. So you can also do a reverse Google image search on those photos, and you may find them popping up in other places across the internet. I know with some of the fake puppy scams, those puppies are, those pictures are used all across North America on a variety of websites. So the professional photos don't mean that it's a real offer. And before you buy, do your research. And going back, it said it was strongly recommended you do your research. 1 out of 57% who did not research, out of the 57% who did not research the website or business via an independent source before making a purchase, 81% lost money. So doing your research is really important. And you're online anyway, so you have all those tools really at your fingertips. More prevention tips. So beware of fake websites. Check the URL. Sometimes mimic a common website, and but when you look at the URL, you'll see that it's not the URL for that business. And there could be off by a character, it could be a name that's plural rather than singular, but they're usually minor differences, but it's very easy to fake and copy the look of a website. So you need to be careful with that. Watch out for bad grammar. Read the content carefully. You may detect typos and bad grammar, indicating that the website was put together really quickly. Research the age of the domain. So now we're getting into a little more specifics. Scammers create attractive sites quickly to attract victims before the sites must be taken down. So they're constantly creating these sites, and they do it quickly. The online tools can help you find out how long the domain's been active. If it's a young website, proceed with caution. So if you need help with that, we have folks on our team at the Better Business Bureau that are able to check the age of the website. So if you are concerned that and you're not sure how to check that, give us a call. We'll help you out. So search for contact information. Is there a way to contact the business? So is there a phone, email address, online chat? If the only contact information you can find is an online form, I would do a little bit more research. And looking back at the study, people felt a lot more comfortable if they saw a physical location. So if something goes wrong and there's no way to contact anyone, it makes you feel really helpless. So online reviews, you can visit bbb.org or Google or any other third-party source to determine if consumers have filed complaints against the business. Or you can just Google the name of the business and add the words complaint, and it will come up. So if you see a lot of positive ones, you're going to be leery of those too. So, but check the reviews and see what other people have to say about their experience. Beware of making quick purchase decisions while scrolling social media. So this is what they're counting on. It said those were the passive shoppers. They weren't actively shopping, but something popped up in their social media feed and they thought, oh, that sounds interesting. Did you see the ad for those red shoes you've been searching for and they're a steal? Well, like marketers for real companies, scammers have access to the tools they need to learn about buying behaviors and offering up exactly what you want and enticing prices. So they're using these same tools that legitimate marketers are using, so be very leery. When shipment tracking information is provided, it could very well be faked. So in fact, 59% of those responding to our survey received fake shipping information. So that tells you that it's easy to fake and it's a common tactic. Use secure and traceable transactions and payment methods. So the survey showed that those that used a credit card or PayPal were less likely to lose money. I always recommend a credit card, but I'm kind of a dinosaur. There's fraud protection built in, and you can always dispute a charge on your credit card. If you use your debit card, even though it says MasterCard on it, it's coming right out of your account. And there are different rules that apply to that. So then you would have to go to the bank, and there's a lot more work involved to get the money back. So if it's on the credit card, you haven't paid your statement to that credit card for the credit card yet. So they don't have your money. You can dispute it, and it's a lot easier for you to get that taken care of. And finally, don't believe everything you see. Scammers are great at mimicking official seals, fonts, and other details. I mean, and frankly, with the equipment, the desktop graphic equipment we have, it's pretty easy for a 12-year-old to do it. Just because a website or email looks official does not mean that it is. And if a business displays a BBB accreditation seal, you really should check and verify that at bbb.org. Most of our seals are linked to their business profile. So if you click on it, it takes you to bbb.org and the report on that business, and that's how it should work. If it doesn't, then we suggest that you research that business on bbb.org to make sure that they in fact are accredited. Accreditation is such a valued status that scammers will sometimes fake that as well. So there is a consumer tip sheet available for you to use with a focus on prevention tips. Take a close look at it. We've backed up all the tips with data from the report. And it's important that you understand, again, that scammers have access to the same marketing tools that real life marketers do. So when they look like real products, real websites, it's easy for them to mimic that, and that's part of why they're so successful at what they do. So take a close look at these new tips and let us know if you have any questions. So you can access it at bbb.org/online purchase scams. And when you go there, you're going to get the full report that this presentation was made from. And you'll also get the one sheet. It's of the tips, so that will help you stay safe online, especially during the holiday shopping season. Share that widely with your friends and family. And if you have any other questions, I'll be glad to take questions now. Here's my name. My email address is president@cne.bbb.org, and I have a toll-free number, 866-566-9222. And feel free to use that and ask for me by name. So, Bob, is it possible for folks to ask questions if they have any? Is there a chat that someone's been watching?
Sure, Nancy. If you could stop sharing your screen.
I'm going to try. Okay, I think
All right,
I did
there
it.
we go.
Did I do it? All right.
You certainly did it. That's great.
Okay.
So Sarah asked, since the holiday season is around the corner, could we still purchase online as a precaution of COVID? And then if so, what is the best suggestion for doing so?
I say it's perfectly safe, but you need to know the red flags, what to look for, and download the tips. And they're not like product specific. There are things that once you've seen this presentation, you get the tip sheet, things are going to start to, when you see it, you're going to say, that's a red flag. And if you have a gut feeling, there's plenty of other people that will sell you stuff. So I would say if you don't feel safe on a website, go somewhere else. Yeah.
I think that's good advice. I know that that there have been a few times where I have had a gut feeling that something was wrong, and when I hesitated buying it and then actually did a little bit of research, sure enough, something was wrong, and I was glad that my gut.
Yeah. Yeah, you really should go with your instincts. And what we're trying to do as the Better Business Bureau with these presentations is to hone those instincts. So you're being exposed to some of the common threads of these scams, and whether they're selling masks or they're selling the hottest toy for Christmas. If it's but right now you can get masks easy, but back in March, masks, toilet paper, wipes, Lysol, any of that stuff, you couldn't get it. Those foolish thermometers, everybody that opened an office needed to have those to test the temperature of people coming in. They were a hot commodity. So any of that stuff that was very popular, just like the popular Christmas items, it's the same thing, only, what was scarce because of COVID, what's scarce because it's a hot Christmas item. All the kids want this particular toy. If you go online, you're going to find scams related to it. The scammers are chameleons. They watch the news, and they are very current and clever, but we can be smarter than them and not fall for it. Okay. So we're
Right.
a resource, and I feel, just we're open for live calls. There's a real live person that answers our phone between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And, so if you ever have a question, it's so much easier to ask ahead of time and prevent something bad from happening than to have something happen and, uh, and then now maybe you've had identity theft, maybe you've lost a lot of money, and it's a much more serious situation. Oh, I told Bob I was going to mention this to you guys. The pet scam, it's a huge thing. And during COVID, everybody decided, oh, now I'm home. I have time to take care of a dog. I've always wanted a dog, but I never had the time because I was at the office. So everybody wanted a dog, and dogs became scarce, believe it or not. And so this pet scam, people were sending money, and always it was like on prepaid debit card, wiring money, always ways that you can't get the money back. So if somebody's asking for money in a way that it'd be hard to refund it, that's another big red flag. And then they would add on. So once they hook you in for that puppy, and now you're already envisioning your life with the puppy, now they're going to give it a COVID test. They need a special crate. They need this. They keep coming back for more and more money. And that's how people are scammed hundreds, thousands of dollars. There was a woman in Westminster that lost $25,000 on a Maine Coon cat kitten. That she wanted one. Now, I felt terrible for this woman because she had had a really rough year along with COVID. She had been the primary caregiver for her mother that eventually passed away. And so it was, I just got chills thinking about it. I just felt so bad for her because obviously her guard was down. She was thinking with her heart and not her head. And she lost $25,000. And there's no cat either. I mean, so all she wanted was a cat. And so this is real. And she was not, these guys, these scammers are just very, very clever. And be on the alert. Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Bob. This was really a pleasure. And I hope some of the information was interesting to you. I know it was for me because some of the things that we learned on this study were really eye-opening. So it's good to learn new things every day. Stay safe, everybody.
Right. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye.